Hello all, my name is Krish Naik and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today in this particular video, we are going to discuss about the basic differences between a traditional RAG system versus agentic RAG. I hope you have heard about agentic AI applications, you have heard about AI agents, you may have also heard about RAG. Many people have this specific confusion because now the recent trend is moving towards agentic RAG. Many people know how to develop traditional RAG. So in this particular video, I will be showcasing you one complete end-to-end example. But before that, we'll try to find out the basic differences between both of them. Please make sure that you watch this video till the end because these all videos are super important because at the end of the day, you will be able to understand many things. It will be helpful for your interview also. Okay. So let's first of all, I'll draw a lot of diagrams so that your understanding will be super clear. Okay. So first of all, what I am actually going to do is that let's say that there is a user over here, okay? And when we talk about user, let's say that we are trying to develop some kind of generative AI application, okay? And if you don't know what is RAG, RAG basically means Retrieval Augmented Generation. Why do we use RAG? Please write down in the comment section, and then I will also explain you in the specific video, okay? So let's say this is a user. So a user is over here, okay? And user is making a query. Okay. So let's say this is my query that is basically happening. Okay. I will just go ahead and click create some dots. So this is a query, right? As soon as a query is basically given by the user, here we have something called as LLM application, right? So this is my LLM because whenever we talk about a generative AI application, in short, here we have a query. This can be a chatbot. This can be anything as such, right? So based on this particular query, here, along with this particular query, we also combine some kind of prompt, right? Some kind of prompt. And based on this particular prompt, we give it along with this particular query, we combine this prompt. And this prompt is nothing but it is a kind of instruction how the LLM should behave. I can say that, hey, act like a data scientist and probably take an interview, right? Ask interview questions that may be related to data science. So that can be a prompt. So whenever I probably try to add a query, along with this prompt, we integrate it and we send it to the LLM. And finally, LLM provides us some kind of output. So this is a normal generative AI application, Gen AI application, right? Now, we will try to understand. If I want to probably convert this generative AI application into a RAG system, then what I will do, I will first of all go ahead and use some kind of vector database. It can be a vector store, it can be a vector database. Now, when we add this vector store or vector database, let's say this is my DB. Okay, this is my database itself, right? I can also say it as vector DB. Okay, let's say in this particular vector DB, and if I probably consider, let's say that this vector DB has some information related to, let's say, my YouTube videos. Okay, if I have any questions to ask related to my YouTube videos, so that YouTube video content is available inside this particular vector database. Not only that, let's say that I have some of the Udemy courses information, right? Udemy courses information, right? And I'm trying to create a chatbot. This chatbot, what it does is that whenever you ask him, hey, Krish, hey, is there any Udemy coupons available for Krish courses? So that particular information will be available in this particular vector DB. Okay. Or what all new courses are there with for generative AI? You can basically ask this chatbot assistant. Okay. Now, in this particular scenario, obviously the LLM won't be able to answer, right? LLM do not has that specific information. Now, if I want to probably convert this generative AI application into a traditional RAG, then what I will do, I will put this DB, and this DB will have all the data. That data is basically converted from text to vectors. Text to vectors. You can use any DB, Astra DB, MongoDB, whatever. And that vectors are basically stored over here. Now, in a traditional RAG, whenever a query comes, first of all, that query's request will go to this particular DB. And from this DB, I get a specific response or context, right? We get some kind of response or context. And this context is combined along with this prompt, and sent to this particular LLM. So when we add a when we add a vector database, the main aim over here is to probably provide information which my LLM cannot do it, right? My LLM do not has any information regarding my Udemy courses. It may be trained in the future with the recent data, but this kind of data is only specific to my use case, right? To my use case it is specific. So what it will do, it will take a probably a query, get the context, combine with the prompt, give the LLM, and then the LLM will finally give me the output. So this is nothing but this is a traditional RAG system. Traditional RAG, right? Here precisely I'm able to get the right context. Precisely I'll be getting the good output, right? Accurate output, right? And that is what is the meaning of RAG. Why? That is the reason we have this external database, which has specific information. And from this information, I want a specific information to be given or displayed to the front end users, right? So this becomes a traditional RAG. Now, understand in this traditional RAG, there's some very important properties that you need to keep a note on. First of all, the LLM is only used once, right? Here, why is LLM used? Just to probably summarize the output, right? Summarize the output. That is why it is specifically used. Don't you see that? I have a query. This query is going to the database. It is being retrieved. So that is the reason we say this as a retrieval, right? We also say whenever we are using some kind of RAG database, it becomes a retriever tool. And from that retriever, we get a context, we combine with the prompt, then we send it to the LLM, and finally we get the output. Here only LLM is used specifically to summarize the output. But LLM has much more capabilities. That is the reason, and you need to understand this point. LLM has huge capabilities. Now, what capabilities I'm talking about? Now, if I want to convert this traditional RAG into agentic RAG, then how do I do this? Okay. Here in agentic RAG, the LLM can be used for some other capabilities also. So now what I will do, let's say I have a use case. In this use case, I have one of the vector database. Let's say in my company, I have a requirement. Now I will just not use only one vector database. I will use two vector database. Let's say this is my one vector database. This is my another vector database. Okay. Let's say since I have been uploading continuously YouTube videos also, I have been also uploading new Udemy courses. I've been also uploading, I've also been coming up with live courses on agentic AI. So this vector database, let's consider that this is my DB2. I will just go ahead and write it as DB2. This will have my Udemy information, let's say. Udemy information. Okay. This will be having my Udemy information. This DB3 will have my live courses information. Live courses information. Okay. Live courses information. Now, you will be able to see that whenever we give a query, let's say if I ask this chatbot, hey, provide recent Udemy courses by Krish, or provide Udemy courses on generative AI or agentic AI. Let's say my question is provide Udemy courses on agentic AI. Okay, agentic AI. Now, as soon as the query comes, now the question rises, should we go ahead and hit DB2 or DB3? Obviously, by seeing this, you can understand that Udemy information is present in DB2. So we have to probably go ahead and hit DB2. But here, who will be taking this particular decision? Do you think that we have to go ahead and write some manual code? No. We can use the same LLM. We can use the capabilities of the same LLM. And this LLM capabilities, we can convert this in the form of agents. Okay. I will convert this in the form of agents, right? Now what happens is that when we convert this into agent, whenever a user query comes, the agent will have the capability to route the query either to DB1 or DB2 or DB3. It has this particular capability. Okay. Because this agent is already integrated with this specific tools. These are called as retriever tools. Retriever tools. Okay. So if you are probably developing with the help of LangChain or LangGraph, At that point of time, you can create this independent agents and you can add this as tools. So when you add this as a tools, agent will have the information that whenever we have this kind of information coming from Udemy, we need to route the query to DB2. Otherwise, if it is coming from live courses, we need to route the query to DB3. Now what happens if I am trying to route this query to this specific DB2, my context, which will be much more accurate. So my context, the information that is coming from the DB2, which matches this particular query, will be much more accurate. And then my LLM will summarize. Otherwise, it will go to DB3. And again, from here also, it is possible that I will be able to get my context, right? But the best thing over here is that the agent is specifically taking this particular decision. And it is also using RAG in between. So similarly, tomorrow you try to develop any kind of use cases, right? There may be more databases that you can add. There will be one vector database. Let's say this is for company policy information. It may be for other information. Now you may be thinking, Krish, can't we just only use one vector database and put all the information out there? You can. But here I'm trying to probably get much more accurate result, right? Because if I have a specific vector database, let's say this is another database, another database, another database, and we have those specific information, my agent is basically is taking that decision what I should basically call, right? Which vector database we should specifically call to get the context. And more accurately, if we get the context, then we will also be able to get the output much more accurately, right? And this is what is all about agentic RAG, right? Agentic RAG. Here, the agents are taking that particular decision, right? Agents are specifically taking the decision. So if I probably go ahead and explain you, it is a framework that enhances traditional RAG system by incorporating intelligent agents to handle complex tasks and make decision dynamically, right? And if you see, I was preparing a lot of materials for my class students and all, right? And that is where we have to make sure to teach in such a way so that everybody understands, right? So if you see over here, right? See, this is the code, okay? Here, what I have done is that you'll be able to see I have some LangGraph blogs, okay? This is inserted in one vector database. Then I have some LangChain blogs, which is inserted in some vector database, vector store. Then what we have done is that we have created this kind of workflow. See, this workflow. Now this agent is connected to DB1, DB2. And when DB1, let's say once a request is coming, what is LangGraph? It will redirect or route to DB1 because DB1 has that particular information. And then you can see that the entire workflow is designed in this specific way. And just to show you, give you an idea how it works, right? Let's say I ask a question over here. What is LangChain? This is present in one vector database. So if I just go ahead and execute it, you can see agent is basically getting called. Then it is checking the relevance, whether it matches the input. It finds the docs relevant, and then it is generating this entire content, right? Let's say that if some of the data is not present in my vector database, how does it work? So I'll just go ahead and ask, what is machine learning, right? And here you'll be able to see that it'll just go ahead and call the agent, but it sees that the vector database does not have this particular data. So it will just continue with the execution and the LLM will be giving it. If the LLM does not know, that also we can specifically handle. So we can add any number of conditions over here. And this is nothing but this is called as routing. Okay, so routing. You can add any number of routers, right? So I hope you understood this amazing explanation about traditional RAG versus agentic RAG. Super amazing. Now, tomorrow you build a use case of your own. Any number of vector databases you can probably create. Create it as a retrieval tool and try to integrate as a tools to this particular agent. The agent will be able to handle that particular task of routing your query and getting the response. And from the LLM, you'll be able to get the output, right? So I hope you like this particular video. This was it from my side. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day ahead. Thank you one and all. Take care. And these all videos are specifically created to make your basics really, really strong. So yes, this was it from my side. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Take care.